Hello, Johnny London here once again. Well, I've woken up to a lovely sunny morning and subsequently wasted most of that morning fiddling about, and it's midday and I'm just about making ready to cruise now. It's tempting to think that it'll be a lovely long sunny afternoon's cruise, but the reality is at this time of year I'll be wanting to get moored up, not too late, any time after sort of 2, half 2. I've got to stop and get fuel, so I think the best thing to do now is get cracking. Unusually for me, I've put up 2 of the panels, as you can see there behind me. They're the only 2 that can do that. I just sort of take the bolts out, add those metal things and put the bolts back in. That works quite easily. That makes a good difference. I don't normally bother, as I said, but because of where I am today, it just so happens that the sun arcs perfectly there, and it makes a difference for several hours. So a rare thing I'm actually bothering to put the panels up. Only thing is, of course, I've got to take them down now, haven't I? And all the usual stuff too. Nobody in there today. I've been on a combination of chains and pins on this mooring. But the main thing, of course, is not to forget anything. The breeze blows me out. I'm ready to go. Today's cruise will take me further south on the Grand Union Canal from just north of Leighton Buzzard to a place called Church Lock. It's been a good mooring, that. Well, it was only round the corner to the first lock. I could have come up here and set it first, I suppose, but just do it this way, it's all the same really. There's a nice old lock cottage, if ever I saw one. Well, you can hear all the water, I'm sure. Unfortunately, this lock was against me, so I have to drain it before I can go in. Obviously, I've checked that there are no boats coming that can make use of the lock as it is, but obviously it's a very quiet day today and I'm unlikely to see anybody and no signs of anyone, so just get on and drain it. The lock is draining quickly. And I keep an eye out to ensure the current isn't affecting the boat. Nice new gates. New but quite heavy. I hurry to the lock ladder. Well, it's a windy old day and it's a leaky old lock, although they put lovely new gates on at the bottom end obviously. The top gate's not so good, and already the boat's decided to go onto the other side of the lock, but if that's where it's happy, then that's where it'll have to stay, I think.
Seems happy enough for now.
Typically on a wide lock like this, we've got 4 paddles. Best to do the ground paddles first. They let the water into the bottom of the lock so the boat doesn't get splashed around so much. And then when you've got a bit of water in the lock, you know, you're halfway up or over the sills at least, then you do the other ones. But I always do them half at a time anyway, because if I'm on my own, the water moves the boat from side to side and it's difficult to control it on the rope. And in any case, you're not on the rope, you're on the paddle half the time. So they're a bit of a faff, these, quite difficult on your own really, the wide locks, but just do it slowly and keep your eyes on everything as you go really.
It's filling from the gap in the gates too.
Then of course a nice walk back to the lock to close the gates. Gates closed, all 4 paddles down. I've had to cross back and forth on the tops of the lock gates probably about 6 or 8 times, what we do, doing paddles half and then one thing and another. So if I'm making it look like hard work, well, on your own it really is. What you want actually is 3 people. Then one stays on the boat and one jumps off either side to handle the paddles, and then it's easy. But unfortunately there's not 3 people today, just me.
All left correctly.
Well, it's all quite hard work today. Not very good for filming because I'm heading dead into the sun, and double locks obviously, and quite a bit of wind about, which is adding to the complications. But hopefully the diesel place will be open, so I'm going to stop in there in a minute.
Nice looking boats. If you're thinking of hiring, you could do a lot worse. Ah, good. I can just squeeze in there.
Well, I got in for the mooring for the diesel just perfectly actually, which is good because I didn't know if there was even going to be a space with all these boats parked up. So just go along to the office and find the chap. Well, it turns out, just as I was looking for the water tap, somebody came along. They filled me up with diesel. I've got my water. Had no trouble getting the bins, getting rid of my rubbish. So 10 out of 10 here. Very friendly, helpful staff, and the diesel was well priced as well. So yeah, recommend this one.
Their hose, not mine.
Just a quick snack.
I'm underway once again.
Well, that's the best part of Leighton Buzzard behind me now.
Boat access once, car park now. Keep seeing these. What a beautiful craft. I considered coming to this boatyard. It looks very similar to the other one. There's a sight you rarely see, rubbish barges. But the wind's got the better of me.
Blasted heck.
There goes the new blacking.
I remember coming through here in the summer of 2016. My goodness, it looked a bit different then in the sunshine, I tell you.
I've got an idea that's a pretty good pub though. In we go. Another heavy gate.
Oh, the sun's gone now. It's getting pretty cold. I should be glad to find somewhere to stop and light that fire. Very stiff. Once I've got it going, I'll just have to keep going.
Filling a tad quickly, but not too bad. Heavy once again.
Well, that was a stroke of luck. I was, just getting the boat through the lock, and someone approached, so I didn't have to go back and close the gates or anything. So that's something. Well, in my excitement at seeing another boat, I think I might have forgotten to close one of the paddles on that lock, so my apologies to that boater. On the other hand, they were just sort of treading water, just floating on the approach to the lock, and if I'd have started faffing about going over the other side of the lock and one thing and another, because I'd had to have gone via the bottom gates, because obviously I was leaving the top gate open for him, I would have taken ages, and he'd have probably got blown over onto the landing stage, and then that would have been more faff for him. So probably my laziness and forgetfulness was for the best. Yes, Arnco.
I didn't see one.
Well, it's been a cold old afternoon, but I got my diesel, I emptied my bins, and I got my water, and we did a couple of locks. I found a lovely spot. It's in totally clear sky, so I'll get as much sun as there is, and I'm on the Arnco as well. What's not to like?